You have never met the strongest animal in the ocean. You think you have. You have seen the fin cutting the surface in 100 films. You were taught before you could swim that the sea has exactly one ruler, and that it has black eyes and a mouth full of triangles. But the real answer is far stranger. The animal that would actually win is not the one you are picturing, and the reason why says something uncomfortable about the world you live on. One rule before you start. Every fight here is 1 against 1. No packs, no families, no numbers. Just 2 bodies in open water and nothing else. Why does that single rule matter so much? Because it completely changes the answer. Begin with the walrus. 2 tons of muscle and blubber, 4 meters long, heavier than a large rhinoceros. Its tusks grow for its entire life and can pass a meter in length, and they are not decoration. They are ice picks, weapons, and levers all at once. A walrus shares its coastline with the polar bear, an animal that kills almost anything it wants, and the polar bear mostly leaves it alone. It hunts the calves instead. Attacking a full-grown walrus is a good way for a bear to end up gored and bleeding on the ice. Notice something already. On land, 2 tons of predator would be remarkable. In the ocean, 2 tons is 10th place. Above the walrus, the leopard seal, 3.5 meters, 500 kilograms, roughly the mass of a big lion but built entirely for pursuit. Enormous jaws that open close to 160 degrees, teeth designed to take penguins apart. Leopard seals routinely hunt other seals, which is the sort of detail that tells you everything. And in 2003, in Antarctic water near the British Antarctic Survey's Rothera station, a 28-year-old marine biologist named Kirsty Brown was snorkeling when a leopard seal took her under. She did not come back. Scientists had worked in those waters for decades without an incident like it, and no one has ever fully explained what the animal wanted. Next, an animal that should not be here at all, the saltwater crocodile. It is the largest reptile alive, and it tolerates seawater well enough to cross open ocean between islands. Gregory Erickson and his colleagues measured bite forces across crocodilians and found the saltwater crocodile at the top, above 16,000 newtons, the strongest bite ever recorded in a living animal. So why is it only 8th? Because underwater it is compromised. A crocodile holds its breath by slowing its own heart to a few beats per minute, letting the body idle while oxygen goes only where it is needed. That trick works beautifully for wading. It does not work at all for fighting. A crocodile in deep water is a hunter without a floor. 7th, the swordfish, 5 meters, 650 kilograms, and a bill of solid bone driven by one of the fastest bodies in the sea. The famous speed figures are almost certainly exaggerated, but even the conservative numbers describe something arriving faster than you can react to. Swordfish have struck whales, submersibles, and the hulls of boats. In May 2015, off the coast of Hawaii, a boat captain jumped into the water to spear one. He hit the fish hit him. Neither of them survived. 6th, the tiger shark, nearly 5 meters, one of the very few sharks that will investigate a human being on purpose, and an animal so indiscriminate that researchers cutting open their stomachs have found license plates, tires, and tin cans. Think about what that means. It is not that the tiger shark eats garbage, it is that the tiger shark does not appear to have a category for things it will not bite. 5th is the strangest entry on this list, the colossal squid, half a ton, the largest invertebrate that has ever lived. Its arms carry rotating hooks, and the backs of sperm whales are covered in the scars those hooks leave behind. Every instinct you have says this animal is a monster from the deep. Then Rui Rosa and Brad Seibel modeled its metabolism, and the monster fell apart. Their estimate suggested a 500-kilogram colossal squid needs roughly 30 grams of food a day. 30 grams. Not a predator racing through the dark, but an ambush animal drifting in near-freezing water, barely burning anything at all, waiting for something to swim into it. Does that make it weaker? Or does it mean you have been measuring strength with the wrong instrument the entire time? 4th, finally, the great white shark. 6 meters, more than 2 tons, 300 serrated teeth in a jaw that has barely changed in 20 million years. It smells blood across enormous distances. It hits once, hard, and then waits for the ocean to do the rest. Because a predator that fights continuously is a predator that eventually gets hurt. And yet no aquarium on Earth holds one. Every attempt has failed. Confined, a great white stops eating, attacks everything around it, and dies. A handful of them refused captivity so completely that the entire species was released from it. Third, the animal that great whites run from, the orca, 9.5 meters, 10 tons, and the fastest marine mammal in the water. It is not a whale, it is the largest dolphin, which means it arrives with a brain built for cooperation, language, and long-term planning. Alison Towner and her colleagues have documented what that brain does to a great white. Off South Africa, 2 male orcas known as port and starboard have been killing white sharks since 2015, flipping them onto their backs to trigger tonic immobility, tearing open the pectoral girdle, and removing the liver with almost surgical precision. In 2024, Towner's team reported one of them doing it alone in under 2 minutes. Tagged sharks flee the region the moment orcas appear. Entire populations have abandoned coastlines they had dominated for generations. And here is the part that should unsettle you. The orcas do not eat the rest of the shark, they are removing a competitor. Second, the sperm whale, 20 meters, 50 tons, teeth 20 centimeters long, and the largest brain of any animal that has ever existed. Hal Whitehead's decades of work has shown that sperm whales live in vocal clans with distinct dialects, patterns of clicks passed down through generations rather than encoded in genes. That is culture, in the ocean, without hands or fire. In a straight 1-against-1, a sperm whale could hold an orca under until it drowned. It almost never tries. When orcas approach, sperm whales dive to depths orcas cannot follow, and wait. First, by size, the blue whale, 30 meters, up to 180 tons, larger than any dinosaur ever confirmed, larger than anything in the fossil record, the biggest animal in the entire history of this planet. A newborn weighs more than a car and gains around 90 kilograms a day, and it is gentle. It eats krill. Its only natural predator is the orca, and it takes a coordinated group of them to try. So the ocean has no single king. It has an animal too large to attack, an animal too deep to reach, and an animal too intelligent to lose. But there is one more, and it is not on the list at all. Call it number 0. The Australian box jellyfish, identified in 1955 by the physician Hugo Flecker, who gave it his name, Chironex fleckeri. A bell the size of a basketball, 60 tentacles trailing 3 meters behind it, each one carrying millions of triggered stingers. Its venom attacks the heart, the nervous system, and the skin at the same time, and a single animal is often described as carrying enough to kill dozens of people. Survivors are usually the ones who touched only a strand, and they keep the scar for life. It is completely transparent. It has 24 eyes. It swims faster than you do, and it swims toward you. It weighs almost nothing. It has no teeth, no jaws, no muscle worth the name. It would lose to every animal on this list, and it would kill any human being on this list within minutes. Its only real predator is the sea turtle, an animal that is simply immune and eats it anyway. So what is strength exactly? Size did not decide it. Speed did not decide it. The orca wins by thinking. The sperm whale wins by leaving. The jellyfish wins by drifting into you in water you cannot see through. You have never met the strongest animal in the ocean. It is smaller than your hand. It is invisible, and it is the only one on this list that is genuinely hunting you.